I am here to tell y'all that addiction to bad relationships is not just bad luck. It's more like a pattern that learned to survive. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother. Now that's a word. It's a pattern. And y'all know how long it took for me to be like, oh, this is a loop. And, you know, like it really gets down to this whole concept of witnessing yourself, like letting it be safe for you to see your patterns. And like seeing like how sometimes it's not so much that we're addicted to a person so much as it is about us being addicted to what is familiar. Because you see, with our nervous systems, it craves the familiar. It doesn't necessarily crave what is healthy for it. It's just anytime something new or more expansive comes, that will put the nervous system in more of a heightened state. And sometimes in these patterns of familiar that we get caught in, it ends up doing much more damage to the nervous system because it's toxic and it causes us stress and it takes us out of our natural balance and it's out of alignment with what our oversoul and our higher selves want. But initially, and when we see what is familiar, we're driven to that because that's what we know. And that familiarity makes us comfortable in the discomfort. So you see, it's about understanding that even though, like when we talk about addictions, everybody talks about, well, they got, addiction to all these hardcore drugs, or they're addicted to opioids, or they're addicted to gambling, or they're addicted to alcohol, and or all these other addictions. But you can be addicted to these patterns of toxic, bad relationships too. And your girl, unfortunately, has been subject to this pattern a little bit more than what I would like to have admit. And I'm sick of it. Now that I have witnessed myself that I tend to gravitate toward relationships that make me feel comfortable or that are familiar to me, I can now choose differently. Now, there has been, pattern breakers where I was in healthy relationships that were not familiar to me. But guess what happened when I went down that road? It was bubbles and cupcakes, fantastic, man. Swept me off feet. I deeply in love, going out the country, thought I was going to get married, was even thinking about moving. And then he pulled the rug up out underneath me for a number of reasons. And my heart was devastated. It was crushed. And to my nervous system, that meant, hey, we took the risk for something that wasn't familiar and it blew up in our face. So let's go back to what is familiar for us. Let's go back to what is safe for us. And it definitely impacted my confidence in myself and my belief in my worth. And, I had it backwards where I was putting my worth and my value in the hands of other people versus what my worth was to myself and to God, no matter of what another person did to me for their own fear, projections, or reason. And that put me back in this pattern of, getting into these bad relationships just in different people of what I became familiar with. And the pattern was of me self-sabotaging, overgiving, trying to martyr myself, trying to save myself, trying to fix and help people, because I believed in their potential versus what they actually were showing me, and sometimes even telling me. So if this is at all applicable to you, I want, and you just keep on, you're just cycling in these bad relationships and you're tired of it. I want you to ask yourself, like, what is the pattern? Why, what is it about these relationships that you're familiar with? What is that? Like, what about them make you feel comfortable even though they're not good for you? And if is it the same person that you're staying with, or are you keep on getting into new relationships with the same type of pattern but different people? And, like, if you're in one right now, just start asking questions like, is this what I really want for myself? Do I want to stay somewhere where I know isn't healthy for me just because it's familiar, just because it's safe, just because it's a necessity for my survival? Because I know it's real out here, y'all. It ain't easy living and paying the bills, okay? So if you're in a situation where you feel like you can't leave, then start planning on, what does it look like for me to be financially stable and independent? If it's related to bills, or if you're raising kids together, how can I co-parent without having to be with someone? If it's unhealthy dynamic and it's full of chaos and conflict, which is going to affect the nervous system for your kids and make them feel unstable in the future. I'm not saying just walk away, but I am saying think about these patterns that you're in. And if you are single and you're like, I'm not dating anymore, blah blah blah, it's much better to be by myself, then I want you to ask yourself, is that really true? Do you really want to be by yourself? If you really do want to be by yourself and you don't want to be bothered and you don't want nobody messing with your peace, power to you. Like, sit in that and be abundant. That's what you want and choose, great. But if you really do want somebody and you're just sick of the patterns that you keep on finding yourself in and these bad toxic relationships that you keep on entering, start doing that self-identification. Like, start looking at, okay, what patterns in my relationships, like the type of man, what is it about that's similar, what is it that it's different, like, what about these relationships make me feel safe? Like, why do I gravitate toward? Are you having any self-sabotage? Is it about your self-confidence? Is it about the type, like, just think through it. Write a list of, like, what is the common patterns of those relationships, and then I want you to write a list of the ideal relationship that you want to magnetize and bring towards you. And then I want you to start embodying that. Whatever you put on your list about what you would like in a relationship, you should start embodying that every day in what you do and how you conduct yourself, because you cannot magnetize anything towards yourself that you are not. So, in order to bring that into you, you must embody it and integrate it into your 3D life. That is how you truly manifest, my friends. That's how you signal to the universe, hey, I am ready to receive this. I am ready to carry this because I am this. I hope that this message is helpful. I hope that it resonates with you. And if you're in most of the United States of America right now, I really hope that you will stay warm and that you will stay safe. Make sure you have water and backup food just in case we lose our electricity with this crazy storm that is coming. Shalane Tukai. Peace.